Ladies and gentlemen, we just got another update on the Street Profits in WWE. As I'm sure y'all know by now, Montez Ford has been coming out and addressing his concerns with current WWE management and the way he's been booked. He said they haven't had WWE Tag Team Championships in years, and that's not where they should be. But we just got an update stating that Montez is popping it a lot, but it looks like he ain't going nowhere. So this report from PW Insider states the Street Profits are currently locked into deals with WWE, and it's likely recent comments were to garner attention more than anything else. Montez Ford has been working on things outside of WWE as of late, but beyond that, there's no belief internally that he or Angelo Dawkins are leaving. Now, Big Om, we just saw what happened to Baron Corbin. We saw what happened to Indy Hartwell. WWE will let people go like on a whim whenever they're ready. I thought Baron Corbin was one of those guys who was locked in. I think he would have been if Vince McMahon was still in office, but Street Profits are out here, popping it off. Do you think Triple H would just pull the trigger and be like, you know what, these guys aren't happy. I don't like the way they're talking about the company. Let's just let them go. Do you think that could happen, or will Triple H hold them until these contracts expire?
I don't think Triple H. There's no threat of Triple H ever doing anything like that. I wholeheartedly believe that, but I do think there's a threat of Nick Khan doing that. I do think there's a threat of TKO and whoever's in charge of that department. Because remember, most of the time, the firings and the budget cuts, especially, like, those are more so managed by the WWE front office. Triple H, at the end of the day, has like some sway as the creative director, but at the end of the day, like, look at a situation in NXT a couple of, I believe almost a year ago. You had a bunch of talent in NXT that were cut with no say-so whatsoever. Shawn Michaels was like, I found out the day of, and they're just gone. So I think that there's always the threat of that happening. And, look, if we're a couple of months away, like if we get a couple of months into this thing and they're still not on TV and there's no momentum there, I think that might be taken into consideration. We can't read minds, but it's a double-edged sword because people are talking about the Street Profits more so than they have in almost a year, I would say, like as far as like popularity, the interest. The thing is, if this is a thing to get buzz and generate popularity and generate interest, I think the moment to strike is here. Because if you do it now, but Montez Ford has all these like outside projects he's working on. Let's say he's not cleared for like another few months or ready to go for another few months. It's kind of like you could have saved this for down the line, which kind of confuses me because if there's no plans to bring them on TV, which there might be with Raw and Netflix, they're going to need people. God knows that roster is going to need people for 3-4 hour show on Netflix. God help us all. But I think like it's crucial that they take advantage of it early. If they don't, people are just going to forget, man. That's just the nature of pro wrestling. If you're not on TV, people forget you even exist. I was talking to my friend about what potentially could happen at the next AEW pay-per-view, and it didn't even cross my mind that Adam Copeland or Edge was like on the shelf. I was like, oh yeah, that's like a possibility. He could return. Like, we don't like if you're not there, like you're out of mind. So I hope to see them back. We'll see.
Brian, what do you think about where the Street Profits are slotted on the card right now? Do you think they should be higher? Do you think they're in the right spot? Or should Triple H and the guys just cancel Christmas on them altogether?
I've been rooting for the Street Profits for a while now. Like, I've been waiting for them to actually get a good push on the main roster, bro, because it's been like, 5 years since they had the tag titles? It's been a long time. I think they're well overdue, man. They put the work in, and day in, day out, bro. I mean, they put on good matches, bro. I think that they're one of the more established tag teams in the company, and I think that we should be seeing them, get some sort of motion, bro. I mean, maybe they beat the Motor City Machine Guns at some point. I don't think it'll happen now on Friday, but I think it should definitely happen at some point, bro. And they should be the guys to carry those titles and get somewhat of a title run, bro. I mean, 5 years is a long time, bro, and they don't take many vacations. I feel like I always see them on the TV screen, so it is tough, to be in their shoes.
I will say this. I don't agree with you because the motor machine guns is what I don't care about. But I don't think the Street Profits need to continue in the tag team division. I think the act is stale at this point. Like, what more are you going to do as the Street Profits that you haven't already done while you were on the main roster? Much like the New Day, as much as I love them, the act is stale and it needs to be rebranded or reimagined. So the Street Profits either need to rebrand or do something else, or they just need to split up. Since Montez Ford was in NXT, there was like, this guy's going to be a star. He's going to be a WWE champion. I mean, we haven't seen him come close to even sniffing that territory. And I don't think he should, based on how he's positioned right now, because it doesn't look like he's ready. So I think it's time to, what do they say? Swim or cut bait, fish or cut bait. So you got to figure something else out with Montez Ford. Shouts out to Angelo Dawkins. I mean, maybe, they separate and he floats as well, because we don't know what he's going to be capable of. But I think Montez Ford definitely needs to go out on his own and figure out where he stands, because he's not getting younger. And floundering on the WWE roster like Ricochet did is just not going to do him any favors, while Bianca Belair is going to be a big star, because he's always going to look at what she's doing and he's still just getting left behind. I'm sure those outside projects he has going on right now, they involve Bianca Belair. So if he wants to make himself a big star, he needs to stop looking for success in the Street Profits and find out how to find success for Montez Ford.
Cook.
I will say, hey man, I don't think the moment's lost. I think Montez Ford is one of those guys you could build him up to be like on the main event scene in just like a couple of months. Like, it would not take much, because at the end of the day, he's got the move set to make him a star. People are going to lose their minds if they see Montez Ford like go up toe to toe with the likes of like Cody Rhodes or LA Knight, whoever, right? Like these top tier people that we talk about in AEW or in WWE. Hey man, give it a couple of years. Cody to AEW confirmed 2030. But no, but like once you see him in the ring against like those guys and like competing at that high level, it's going to add that credibility in people's minds. Like, oh, this guy can hang. And then, he gets to that level. I don't think from a promo standpoint, that's probably the quote unquote weakest part of his game. But I think he could get there pretty easily, because remember, baby faces, you don't need to necessarily cut good promos on TV. Look at Cody Rhodes. My man, I love Cody. He's capable of cutting a great promo. He's got the ability, but they just don't give him. He got no motion in those promos, bro. It's just like, I have accomplished the American dream, and I blah, 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 all these big words. Ain't nobody care, bro. But again, he's a babyface. That he can get away with that. Montez Ford as a babyface would totally work, and I think he could be in that world title scene fairly quickly.
Well, before we get out of here, Big Om, you mentioned AEW, and we were supposed to talk about,
Not really.
Do y'all think they should go to AEW? I threw this picture up earlier, and I just don't want us to get canceled because I just threw some black guys up when we were talking about the Street Profits. There was a plan for these guys. That's why I threw this up. But if they did go to AEW, do y'all think they should be tied in with the Hurt Business and what they're doing right now, or should they stand on their own?
They should not be thrown in with them. We're gonna do what WWE gets criticized for at that point.
Throwing all the black guys together. But I think if it's like the Nation of Domination 2.0, I mean, it makes sense. And I see why WWE does it, because a lot of times if you go to a store or if you, even in school, like you'll see a group of black kids hanging out together. You'll see a group of white kids hanging out together. Now, you may have some black and white kids intertwined in that, but unfortunately, that's just how people click up. So I think that's why WWE does it. They're just trying to get, things looking like they look in real life. But, they could make a difference here and just pair black people up with white people. It doesn't always have to be like that.
All I will say is I think they should stand on their own legs if they go to AEW.
I agree. 100%.
But I do think that like you shouldn't shy away from like these guys having a feud or an alliance down the line. But I do think to begin with, like, have them stand on their own legs. Have Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins establish themselves as tag team stars and build up a major storyline where Angelo Dawkins turns on Montez Ford. Have Don Callis come out, because look, y'all can hate on Don Callis all you want. The man is a heat magnet. And if you look at the people that have crossed Don Callis, or Don Callis has crossed on his list, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, people he's turned on, people he's rallied against. There were some bona fide stars that got elevated because of some of the work that Don Callis has done. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of potential there for success. I would say I think it's a dubious proposition, proposition for him to go there, though.
But Big Om,
You might be on to something, Clit.
your opinion, Brian's opinion, my opinion is what I don't care about. I want to hear what the people in the comments have to say. Should the Street Profits stay in WWE? Should they jump to AEW? Should they stay together or should they split up? And do y'all think Montez Ford really has the cojones to carry the company as the WWE champion? Let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And grip that thing while you kiss that ring.